Hello, my name's Brenna. I'm going to be your nurse practitioner today. So we've reviewed your past medical history, and I see you're here for a sore throat. So I'm just going to begin by doing your physical exam. I'll wash my hands. And then, so I'm just going to begin by inspecting your head, your scalp, your hair distribution, palpating for any lumps or bumps. Any tenderness when I do this?
No.
Okay, good. Sorry. And then I'm going to inspect your eyes, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, conjunctiva, sclera. I'm just going to pull down for a second. Okay, good. And then I'm going to continue with your eye exam. And then just look. Good. And then if you could follow my finger. And then I'm going to have you close your right eye to check your peripheral vision. And then how many fingers am I holding out?
2.
Okay.
2.
And then again, how many fingers am I holding out?
2. And 2.
Good. Okay. And then I'm going to check for the red reflex. I turned it on. And dim the lights. Just checking for this eye for the red reflex. And then checking this eye for the red reflex. And then I'm going to move on to the ears. Palpate and inspect the ears. Any discomfort when I pull on the ears?
No.
Any discomfort in this ear? No. Okay. Then I'm just going to take a look into your ear. Start on this side. Okay. Good. It's hard because the thing died. Okay. And then I'm going to move on to your nose and inspecting the external portion of your nose. And normally I would use this to look in both of the nostrils, but because the mask. And then I would palpate your sinuses. Any tenderness when I'm doing that? Okay. And then normally I would assess your mouth. If you could smile for me, frown for me, puff out your cheeks, and then if you could open your jaw. Any tenderness when I'm doing that? Nope. Okay. And then if you could stick out your tongue for me. And then just move it to the left and right, up and down. And then stick out your tongue and say ah. And then normally I would use this to assess the gag reflex. Okay. And then I would move on to the neck, inspecting the neck for symmetry, palpating the neck, looking for the trachea, checking to see if it's midline. And then come around. I'm just going to have you palpate for your thyroid, for any enlargement, and then if you could swallow for me. And then I'm just going to check a couple more cranial nerves. If you could close your eyes for me. This is sharp, and then this is dull. And then just when I place it on your face, just let me know whether it's sharp or dull, or and then point your finger to where it is.
Okay. Sharp.
Good.
Sharp. Dull.
Mhm. Good. Okay. And then I'm going to move back and do the posterior chest exam. So I'm first inspecting the posterior chest for symmetry, and then I'm just going to palpate any tenderness when I'm doing that.
Nope.
Palpating the spine. Would you mind just turning a little bit this way?
Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. I just realized now with the camera. And then I'm going to do some percussion. Spaces areas without bone. Okay. And then I'm going to check for chest excursion. So I'm going to push towards the middle. And then if you could take a deep breath and then release. Good. Again. Good. And then whenever you feel my hands, if you could just say 99.
99. 99. 99.
Okay. And then I'm going to check for CVA tenderness. Just let me know if you have any tenderness at all when I'm doing this. Any tenderness?
No.
Okay, good. And then I'm just going to take a listen to your lungs. And if you could just take a deep breath whenever you feel my stethoscope. Good, and then if you could just turn around back for me, thank you so much. And then I'm just going to assess your lymph nodes. So pre-auricular, the post-auricular, occipital, postmandibular, postmental, and then your anterior cervical, posterior cervical, and then if you could just shrug a little bit, good, and then your supraclavicular, and then if you could shrug your shoulders again for me, and then don't let me push down. Okay, good. And then I'm going to test the range of motion of your neck. If you could just turn your neck to the side, good, back to the middle, turn again, good, back to the middle, up, good, down, okay, good. And then now I'm going to move on to the anterior portion of the chest. So again, just looking for symmetry during my inspection, and then I am going to palpate for any heaves, thrills, any tenderness when I'm doing that?
No.
Palpate the PMI. Okay. And then I'm going to do percussion again. Okay. And then if you could just say 99 when you feel my hands again.
99, 99, 99, 99.
Okay, good. Just going to take a listen to your lungs. Just take a deep breath again for me. Good. Okay. And then I'm just going to listen to your heart. You can just breathe normally. And then again with the bell, checking for any murmurs. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
And then while you're sitting, if I could have you go like this, and then just shrug your shoulders over a little, just checking the breasts for any dimpling. Don't see any dimpling. And then palpating for any lumps or bumps in this area. Good. Okay, and you can stop. And then I'm going to have you lay down for me. And then I'm going to listen to your heart again. And then if you could just lay on your left side for me. And then again, checking the PMI. You can leave that. And then if you could just hold your hands over your head, I'm just going to check for any lumps or bumps. And then the breast exam. Checking again for any lumps or bumps. Moving into the armpits. And then if I could just have you squeeze your breast, just to check for any nipple drainage. Thank you. And then I'm going to move into inspecting the abdomen, checking for any contouring. And then I'm going to auscultate. And auscultate the aortic, the renal arteries, the iliac, femoral. And then palpating the inguinal nodes in the femoral. And then I'm going to percuss the abdomen. Any tenderness when I'm doing that? Okay. And then I'm going to do some light palpation. Any tenderness?
No.
Okay. And then deep. And then I'm going to percuss for the liver.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. And then using the hooking method, assess for the liver. If you could just take a deep breath in for me. And release. Good. Checking for any hepatomegaly. And then assessing the spleen for any enlargement again. And then I'm going to check the capillary refill of the fingers. And then if you could tell me if you feel this and when it stops.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
And then I'm going to just palpate shoulders, arms, elbows, wrists, fingers, palpate thighs, legs, feet, checking for any edema. And then if I could have you just sit back up for me. You can sit back here. Perfect. And then I'm going to check your hearing. So just tell me where you feel this.
Both sides.
Okay, got it. And then just tell me when you stop feeling this.
Stop.
You still hear it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah.
Still hear it there? Okay, good. And then I'm just going to whisper in your ear.
Okay. Marquette. Nursing.
Okay. And then I'm going to palpate your radial pulses. Good. And then palpate your carotid. Inspecting for any jugular vein distension. And I'm just going to take a listen. And then if you could just hold your breath while I'm listening. Good. You can let go. Again. Let go. And then if you could just raise your arms for me like this. Good. Don't let me pull. Don't let me push. Okay, good. Let go. And then to the side. Don't let me push. Don't let me pull. Okay, good. And then if you could squeeze my hands. Good. And then if you could flip your hands over like this and then squeeze your fingers like that and then don't let me pull apart. And then if you could go up and then down and then don't let me pull, don't let me push, good. And then I'm going to have you spread out your fingers, don't let me close, good. And then close your fingers, don't let me pull them apart, good. And then I'm going to check your capillary refill of your fingers. Good. And then I'm going to have you lift up your leg here. Good. And don't let me push down. Good. And then with the opposite leg, don't let me push down. Good. And then if you could just extend your leg out for me. Don't let me push down. Don't let me pull. Okay, good. And then the other leg, don't let me push. Don't let me pull. And then if you could push down like you're pushing on a gas pedal, good. And then don't let me pull up, good. And then pull up, don't let me push down, good. And then I'm going to check your capillary refill, good. And then just let me know if you feel this vibrating sensation and when it stops.
Okay. Stops.
Okay.
Stops.
And then if you could close your eyes for me, I'm going to demonstrate lifting up your toe. So this is up, down, okay? And
Okay.
then if you could just tell me when I'm doing it.
Up, down, up, down,
And again on the other foot.
up, down, up, down.
Checking your pulses. And then for your fingers, I'm going to do the same thing. So if you could close your eyes for me. And then, what is this?
Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Okay. And then just like we did with the face, I'm going to test your sensation of your upper extremities and your lower extremities. I'll start with the lower. So again, this is dull, or this is sharp, and this is dull.
Okay. Sharp. Dull. Sharp. Dull. Dull. Sharp. Dull.
I know.
It's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell. And then if you could just close your eyes, I'm going to do it on the upper extremities.
Sharp. Dull. Sharp. Dull. Dull. Sharp. Sharp.
That's dull.
The screen.
Oh.
Dull. Sharp.
That's
Sorry.
dull.
It's my fault.
It's okay. It's hard to tell with this thing. Okay. So then I'm going to assess your deep tendon reflexes. I'm standing in front of the camera. So first I'm going to check your brachial reflex. And just let your hand hang. And then your radial. And then check the knees.
That was bad.
And then your heels. And then while you're sitting, I'm just going to test some rapid alternating moments. So if you could just move your hands like this for me. Good. And then if you could put your finger to your nose and then touch my finger. Again, good. Good. And then if you could put your heel to your shin and slide it down. And then do it again with the opposite leg. Good. And then I'm going to have you stand for me. And then I'm just going to examine the back and then the spine again, palpate the spine. And then if you could bend over, just don't bend your knees. Again, palpating the spine, looking for any signs of scoliosis. Okay, you can come back up. And then I'll have you, you can stand back in front of me, like just like that. Try to move. And then if you could just move your and range of motion of the spine and then back. Good. And then if you could put your feet together and your heels together and then put out your arms like this and close your eyes. Any dizziness when you're doing that? Okay, good. You can let go. And then if you could just walk in a straight line normal. Good. And then on your way back, if you could walk on your toes. And then now on your heels. And then if you could walk heel to toe. Good. Just going to take a moment. I believe that's everything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.